This is All India Radio. In Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on budget and emphasis on health sector. The participants are Dr. Narendra Saini, former Secretary General, Indian Medical Association, and Aditi Tandon, journalist.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today interacted with stakeholders in the health sector on the budgetary provisions for health in the Union Budget of 2021-2022. And as we all know that wellness has taken a center stage in the first budget of the COVID-19 era, with Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman clubbing various sectors of health which were earlier disintegrated and in silos. She brought them all together and announced a massive health budget totaling about 2,23,846 crores, and this was pegged to be around 137% higher than the budget estimates of the previous year. Today, Prime Minister also made a very strong pitch for the health budget, and he said that the focus of Indian health sector and the government push in this particular segment is going to be self-reliance. And he made a special mention of the new scheme which has got the major chunk of the health budget this year. And as we all know, the scheme has been called Prime Minister Atmanirbhar Swasth Bharat Yojana. It's a 6-year scheme and it will inject funding to improve primary health care in order to help India prepare better for any potential future pandemic. Let's listen in to the Prime Minister while speaking to stakeholders on the allocations for the health budget this morning.
कोरोना ने हमें ये सबक दिया है कि हमें सिर्फ आज ही महामारी से नहीं लड़ना है, बल्कि भविष्य में आने वाली ऐसी किसी भी स्थिति के लिए भी देश को तैयार करना है। इसलिए हेल्थ सेक्टर से जुड़े हर क्षेत्र को मजबूत करना भी उतना ही आवश्यक है। मेडिकल इक्विपमेंट से लेकर मेडिसिन्स तक, वेंटिलेटर से लेकर वैक्सीन तक, साइंटिफिक रिसर्च से लेकर के सर्वेलेंस इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर तक, डॉक्टर से लेकर के एपिडेमियोलॉजिस्ट तक, हमें सभी पर ध्यान देना है ताकि देश में भविष्य में किसी भी स्वास्थ्य आपदा के लिए बेहतर तरीके से तैयार रहें। पीएम आत्मनिर्भर स्वस्थ भारत योजना के पीछे मूलतः यही प्रेरणा है। इस योजना के तहत रिसर्च से लेकर टेस्टिंग और ट्रीटमेंट तक देश में ही एक आधुनिक इकोसिस्टम विकसित करना तय किया गया है। पीएम आत्मनिर्भर स्वस्थ भारत योजना हर स्पेक्ट्रम में हमारी क्षमताओं में वृद्धि करेगी।
So, Dr. Saini, how do you see Prime Minister's engagement with stakeholders? Because it's a once-in-a-decade kind of a thing. When after the budget you see the Prime Minister engaging the industry and other stakeholders?
Health has come into focus when this corona has come up. Otherwise, always health was a neglected subject. If I go into the health budget, it is 2,23,846 lakh crore rupees. But as you rightly said, it has been segregated into different compartments which were previously there in different ministries. If you see Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, the previous budget, it was 65,000 crores. But this year, it has been increased to 71,269 crore. But if you see the revised budget which has happened in between, that was 82,000 crore. I appreciate the Prime Minister's concern in health.
Dr. Saini, if you go back to the National Health Policy document which came out in 2017, that document for the first time speaks about combining all various silo budgets for health under different ministries and bringing them together under one head. And this year's budget is actually an extension of the National Health Policy vision, where the previous practice was to actually look at health in a very segregated way. And if you heard the Prime Minister today, he did mention that this particular government is trying to look at the health sector holistically and not in silos. I think that is one reason why they have clubbed so many other segments and other ministerial allocations under the larger budget for wellness and health. But coming back to Prime Minister's pitch for Atmanirbhar Swasth Bharat scheme, today when the Prime Minister said that the Atmanirbhar Bharat mission and scheme is going to strengthen surveillance infrastructure, is going to improve India's self-reliance in drugs and devices, and is also going to create an infrastructure of public health labs, plus critical care units across districts of the country, because COVID-19 has taught us many lessons and we have to take heart from those lessons and prepare for the future pandemic, because we are only as good as we are to handle the next pandemic, because influenza outbreaks will keep happening. They've always happened.
Yes, you cannot predict any pandemic happening at any point of time, and they will keep on happening. That Yojana called Pradhan Mantri Atmanirbhar Swasth Bharat, we really appreciate that we have to be Atmanirbhar. I think India has the maximum out-of-pocket expenses. If you see allocation of budget of USA, it is around 18%. If I say neighboring country like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, this is around 5%. We are just at 1.3%. And secondly, we really appreciate, which you also narrated, that different headings under which is important part, water, sanitation, all this combining together into one head. I think Prime Minister is doing a great job, but it is the implementation people. They have to see to it the vision of Prime Minister is being implemented or not.
This overall budget also takes into account the COVID vaccination allocation of rupees 35,000 crore.
We really appreciate that as soon as pandemic has come in the form of COVID, Prime Minister has intervened. I really appreciate the effort of Prime Minister specifically. He intervened and he sanctioned 35,000 crore rupees. And the fruit of that we are now seeing. We have Covaxin, which is Indian produced vaccine, and we have a Covishield also. I think that has really helped.
Dr. Saini, I want to take you back to Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's budget remarks when she was making the announcement regarding health sector allocations. She did say at the time that the government is fully committed to enhancing the public expenditure in health and that money for health sector will not be a problem. Because the point that you made about the need for the government to keep expanding public expenditure in the sector is very well taken. I want you to reflect also on Prime Minister Narendra Modi today telling stakeholders to help reduce India's dependence on raw materials needed to manufacture drugs and devices. If you heard what he said, he repeatedly made a mention of 4 new central schemes, including production-linked incentive schemes for firms that are going to be helped to, manufacture raw materials to further produce drugs. So this self-reliance pitch in raw material, what do you have to say on that?
We really appreciate that statement. But that statement has to be implemented. Problems comes in implementation. Raw material and equipment. You talk about the smallest possible device which is used in medical circle. That is getting imported. You talk about drugs. We are making drugs. We are exporting. But the raw material of drugs comes from different countries, not from India. So for that, you need to have a research. And for the research, you have to fund them. You have to support them. So we have to really go down what we call it a root cause analysis. We have to go into the root cause analysis. Why we are not having research? When the government is spending so much of money, we have done high things in medicine. If you talk about our doctors, they are respected abroad. They are respected in the country. We have medical tourism, which is coming to India for taking treatment because, of course, they feel it is cheaper and best.
I think, Dr. Saini, that is the reason that the country is focusing on solutions rather than the problems. Going forward, you just mentioned that Indian doctors are highly respected across the world. And that is something that we have seen in the COVID times also. And the fact that India has been exporting drugs and a lot of equipment like personal protective equipment and sending so many vaccines to so many countries. 25 countries have already received Indian vaccines for COVID and some 40 more will receive. So on that front, I think a lot of work is being done already. Dr. Saini, I just wanted to ask you also that Prime Minister mentioned today about COVID-19 experiences of India to be used in the eradication of tuberculosis because TB is a huge challenge for the country and we account for almost 24% of global infections. And the mention by Mr. Modi in the morning meeting was that since tuberculosis is also a droplet infection and capacities that India has created during COVID-19 fight can help us in tackling, the tuberculosis challenge. Do you think that's possible and that's a good way to actually address the TB challenge?
Yes, very much, because both of these two diseases, if we think about, if we analyze it, they are by droplet or they are airborne infections. So if we know the precautions of one, the other can also be taken care of. So tuberculosis, I think we have really made great effort previously also in controlling this disease. And really the experience of this will really help us. And the hygienic behavior in terms of air control and all those things, which we have learned during this time. And even now the common man also knows keeping a distance, having good ventilation in the house. These small things will really make us taking control of this disease, the government level as well as from the point of view of general public. This will going to be making a difference.
Right. And coming to the issue of traditional medicine, Dr. Saini, as you know that Prime Minister's comments in the morning were about the WHO setting up the first global center for traditional medicine in India. And the Prime Minister also said that Indian traditional medicine, Indian spices, Indian kadha have kind of gained some sort of global reputation during COVID times. And he did appeal to the Ayush practitioners to pay attention to research and undergo the rigors of research to actually produce quality products. So what is the way forward on this?
I think traditional medicine have a role to play, but only and only when you have done a research. Prime Minister has said rightly so, that you do research in this modern era. If you say scientifically, then only people will accept it. And world will love it and we will appreciate, and every allopathic doctor will love to have our traditional medicine being accepted in the world scientifically. And I really appreciate that WHO is going to put up, as you are saying, that WHO is going to have a center over here monitoring the scientific analysis of our traditional medicine. I think that's a very good thing. And our traditional medicine will go a long way in that.
Right. Now, finally, about the involvement of private sector in the implementation of health programs and in the absorption of health budget. As we all know that Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana also has a lot of private participation. Out of 24,000 empaneled hospitals, around 11,000 hospitals are in the private sector. So it is not as though the private sector is not engaged with the government in this particular implementation program. But today the Prime Minister did appeal to the private sector to come forward and, partner with the government in a range of new initiatives, including the digital health mission, which he mentioned, and the fact that digital health IDs are to be generated for all citizens. And the PM mentioned that these digital health IDs will help in improving last mile accessibility to health services. So how do you look at the forthcoming participation of private sector in this particular mission, the digital health mission, and also in COVID vaccinations?
Whether it is digital, whether it is COVID vaccination, or whether it is diagnosis of COVID through RT-PCR and all those things, private sector is ready to be partner in that. But at the same time, private sector also need money. So somewhere down the line, the planners and the private sector has to sit together. So the balance is required.
Right. That's very well said, Dr. Saini. And finally, the Prime Minister made mention of the 4 fronts on which his government is working in order to strengthen the health sector of the country. The first he mentioned was the focus on prevention and promotion of wellness and prevention of illness. The second was affordable healthcare for the poor, in which private sector is participating through the Ayushman Bharat mission. The third, of course, is the improvement and capacity building in the health infrastructure and human resource building, because a lot of district hospitals are being set up, new aims are also coming up. And finally, a lot of government programs, including Mission Indradhanush and TB eradication, which are going to be very important in the times to come. And Dr. Saini, you also realize that because of too much of strain on the system which the pandemic has put, a lot of other health programs would need greater attention going forward, both of the public and private sector.
I think the 4 vision which Prime Minister has shown, the private sector is ready to be partner in that, ready to be going with the Prime Minister. Let's have a dialogue on this so that it becomes sustainable.
Right. I think we'll just wind it up at that, Dr. Saini. And just last point that I wanted to mention, sometimes along with infusion of money into the health system, it is the commitment of the health workers, doctors such as yourself, and the citizenry coming together to fight a pandemic of this scale, which sails us through, and which is exactly what has happened in India, which has managed to have such a low mortality rate despite being the second most populous country in the world. So thank you on that note.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on budget and emphasis on health sector. The participants were Dr. Narendra Saini, former Secretary General, Indian Medical Association, and Aditi Tandon, journalist. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our website, newsonair.com. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.